Hi, my name is Kathy, and you have reached me at my sewing practice. Welcome to all people who are just following the hashtag SewUpcycle22, because today is October 15th and it is my turn to encourage you to do some upcycling. Also on today's tour is Helen from Stitch Hem Sew, and just feel free to walk on over there after this and watch her video too. She's just one of my favorites that I follow all the time. If you have been here before, welcome back, and thank you for leaving your comments. And if you're new, introduce yourself in the comments. And this is the second time I have filmed the intro, so I apologize if it seems awkward. And here we go, on with the show. Hi, this is Kathy, and you have reached me at my sewing practice. Now, you've reached me on a special day because I am here to talk about upcycling. And as soon as this situation came out where I was able to participate in the upcycle tour, I jumped in with both feet because I love this topic. I really enjoy all kinds of topics around sustainability, capsule wardrobes, eco-friendly products. And so this is the upcycle challenge is something I've been practicing in my sewing practice for a few years now. I think that maybe it went back as far as when I purchased these mitts, and I cannot believe I still own this. But I was at a craft store, or a craft show, I should say. I don't even recall when. And I purchased these. Now, I want to pause for a second and say, isn't it funny how sometimes if we're at a craft show, we are drawing to something that is very handmade. Like it has all the textures of saying, I was not made in a factory. But then yet if we make something like that, sometimes we lose our confidence and we think, but does this look too handmade? And so it is just funny how sometimes we'll transfer that insecurity onto ourselves. I know I can do this sometimes when I am color blocking, because although color blocking is used in very nice clothing in the industrial world, when we use color blocking in our sewing practice, sometimes it's scrap busting. And so we lose a little bit of the confidence there. Okay, but back to where I'm doing today. I, again, love the idea of that mitt. And so when I started seeing sweaters, I just saw them as yardage to make some mittens. And so after a few pattern trials I did with other patterns, I found this pattern to make mittens from old sweaters. It is called the Tova mitten, and it is produced by The Last Stitch. Now, again, it's Joanna Lundstrom, and honestly, guys, I am not girl crushing on her. I know I seem to be talking about her a lot lately. Just trust me, it's coincidental. But I did buy this pattern a few years ago from her, off the internet, of course, and it's called thelaststitch.com if you would like to purchase it. And as usual, I have all kinds of information in the description below. Now, these Tova mittens come in extra small, small, medium, and large. And I've actually extended them to extra large for my husband who has extra large hands, and I'll insert a picture of them here. You measure from your hand from the base to the tip of your middle finger, and you come up with a size. And if you come up with the size there, then you refer to your size, and it's either up to 5 3/4 inches, up to 8 3/4 inches, as the pattern has been written. The fabric requirements are 0.3 meters for the gloves, and if you choose to make cuffs, it's only 0.2 meters. And as you see, I am going to be making them from a sweater that I purchased at the Goodwill here in Kentucky. But I have made them from other sweaters. I usually give them as gifts, so I don't have many I can show you, but let me show you one that I do have in my gift box now for when such a time comes that I need to give a gift. And this is from a sweater that I owned, and this is what they look like. Now the outer is the sweater, and as you can see, I chose to use the cables of the sweater here. And then I used a cotton ribbing for the cuff. And this is what I used for the lining. I used a double brush poly. Now the reason I used a double brush polys is that it seemed like these mitts that I purchased so long ago that I'm still amazed I have both of them. It seems that perhaps that's what they used, but I would have to say there's a lot of latitude in what you can use for the lining. I think as long as it is either a woven that is a little stretchy or a cotton that's not too stretchy, you're fine. Today, I'm going to be making the mittens for you and with you in this orange fabric that I'll insert a picture here from a sweater again that I have purchased recently. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to assemble the Tova mittens designed by The Last Stitch, and these instructions come with the pattern pieces. Now I'm going to be using this EcoFlex thread in a different color, but I wanted to show it to you. It's made by Coats, and I assume that it's the same thing as MaraFlex. And what that means is that you can use your straight stitch on your machine, and it has some give. And so you can use it with knits and not have to use a zigzag or a serger. And I've made these mittens enough to know that I would not use your serger. They just won't really turn out. Now, I also have to tell you that I've got my machine scheduled for maintenance, but it's making a funny noise, but it's sewing great. So I apologize for the clunking that you're going to hear occasionally. And that's the sound I'm talking about. So let's go through the instructions. Okay, so these are your pattern pieces that you're going to cut out. And for this legend, the right side is dark and the wrong side has got a little bit of a light gray shade to it. Here's some measuring ideas, and there's some sew-alongs at this website, which is thelaststitch.com. Again, we are going to cut 2 of the 3 pattern pieces, not the 4th, because my cuff is going to be already there from the sweater. Okay, so now I'm going to cut out the body of my fabric, and this is the edge, and as you can see, I'm going to incorporate this ribbing, and so I will not have to sew a separate ribbing piece. But you can sew a separate ribbing piece. I'm just going to incorporate using my sweater for the cuff of my mittens. Okay, so we've done one because we've cut out the fabric, and the cuff we're gonna not do. And now we're on step number 3, which is marking your fabric, and I have done that. So we are on step 4, and as you can see, I have marked this as important. And that means that what I want to do is make sure that I leave this extra 1/4 inch here. And I've marked my dots, and this says A to B we're going to sew on this step. It's a little off on the cuff. All right, so now I'm going to form the thumb, and you've got 2 dots here that you're going to match going down the thumb side. And then that 1/4 inch that you left exposed before, this is why, is that you've got this 1/4 inch right here that is at a right angle. And I'm going to pop a pin there instead of a clip because it's a little bit more precise. So now I'm going to sew around here, get to here, and then I'm going to jump this seam allowance and finish it. Now this would be a good time to check your stitch length, because if it's too big, you're going to have a little bit of trouble. So I'm going to sew right up to that seam. Go back a little bit. With my needle down, I'm now going to lift up my presser foot and then put my needle back down on the other side of that seam. And now I'm going to pivot. And the under part did slip out, so I'm going to have to readjust this pin. So just bear. trying to get things to lay nice under there. So I think what I'm going to do is put this clip here. Line up the raw edges a little bit better together. Okay, there I go. I mean, I'm going to lock the end, but again, because I'm dealing with some unstable situations, I'm going to go ahead and put this piece of fabric to get myself off the machine. Okay, so what I have now is this. And eventually it's going to be what the pattern calls the front part of the mitten. It's not perfect here, but I think it's good enough. So I'm going to go back next and just clean up this seam allowance a little bit here. That's what the pattern calls for. And then they also call for snipping that right angle right there. Since I've got kind of a loose knit, I'm just going to do a couple of the fibers. And I think that's good enough for that. Okay, next is attaching the back of the mitten. Okay, so now we are on step 7 again. And that is, I'm going to take this right angle right here and put a little clip in it. So 2, but not through the stitches. I'm just going to do a couple of the fibers so that the thumb isn't bound up, if we'll call it. And then after that, I'm going to progress to step 8, and that is simply stitching the front and the back palm together. So I've got my palm, or my front and my palm together. And this time I used a pin just to make sure that when I go across the ribbing line that they're more equally matched up. I strive for perfection and achieve well done. Yeah, and if you want to buy me a sewing machine for Christmas, make sure that you get one that cuts the threads. Yeah, okay. Oh, sorry, I'm not in the screen. So there we have so far. Now I'm a size 6.5 to 7 in surgical gloves. And this is a size medium, if you need to know that for a reference for someone you're sewing for. Okay, let's see if we can attach the lining. So for the lining, I took this t-shirt and I cut it out into the pattern pieces, but I did not make the cuff again. And then this time is showing you where that thumb construction happened. And after I constructed the lining with the 3 pieces, I just hand sewed it inside of the mitten because this particular mitten already had a cuff. There is another way you can do it if you add a cuff, but there's my completed mitt. All right, so there you have it. Those are some cute mittens I have made that will make great gifts or just using them for yourself. And the best feature of this particular pattern, it has a really good articulating thumb. Now, on my next video, I'm going to show you what I did with the scraps. So if you'd like to listen to that or watch that, I appreciate it. And if not, over and out, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.